check it. Hey, check it. Put the place up.
It's the playoff selection show here on Roadco Radio, roadcoradio.com. Joe Dexter alongside my partners David Woods, Jay Ramey, and the Hat Man, Jonathan Hatley, the talker of trash. There's no trash talking here in Rockingham County on this beautiful Sunday because all four teams are in the playoffs to get this thing going. Fellas, are you ready for this show?
Let's get it going.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's start with the Mid-State Conference. We'll break down every single division our teams are involved in, the 4A, the 3A, the 5A. Let's take a look at the Mid-State Conference playoff pairings. Reedsville, the number 1 seed in the 4A East at 7-2. They'll face the winner of number 16, Jordan Matthews, number 17, Red Springs in the second round. Landing that number 1 seed in the 4A East, they'll receive a bye. At home will be Rockingham County taking on the best rusher in the state. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit as we preview Rockingham County's matchup with Dixon. It's the number 15 seed in the 5A East for the 5-4 Cougars as they'll host the 18-seeded Dixon squad at 5-5 on the season. 8-1 Walkertown ends the season as the number 6 seed in the gauntlet that is the 3A West. They'll face the winner of number 11 West Wilkes and number 22 Wheatmore in the second round, receiving a first-round bye. Carver at 6-4, the 13 seed in the 4A East. They will face conference foe number 20 Moorhead in the first round. The Panthers finishing 2-8. The number 20 seed, they'll look to knock off Carver, who defeated them earlier in the regular season 28-0. It's been a run for Bartlett Yancey at 3-7. The number 21 seed in the 3A East. They'll travel to take on number 12 Wake Prep Academy, who's 6-3 overall in round 1. And the 2-8 Phoenix, man, they don't get the luckiest of draws. They'll face number 10 Shelby at 7-3 in the 3A West as the number 23 seed. So that breaks it down. Guys, we'll start with you, Jonathan. Your overall thoughts on what we've seen so far.
I mean, the RPI system appeared to work. I'm not sure about the way the lines were drawn. I'm willing to bet it looks like an election map at this point. It's I'll tell you, I've said it all season that 3A West is an absolute beast. And it's kind of the same way in 4A. Except that 4A West, I mean, you got some good teams out there, but 4A East, that, I'll tell you, it almost seems like I don't want to say cakewalk for Reedsville, but they've got a easier path to the playoffs or to the state championship than they have in years past. We'll put it that way.
We'll break down.
And
each bracket. We'll take a look at the 3A, 4A, and 5A, and we'll also break down our local matchups. Go ahead, Hatley.
And 5A, I really like the draw that Rockingham got being in the East. They've got some interesting competition over on that side of the bracket, but that 5A West, man, if they don't kill each other on the way to the state championship, that division is nasty.
Coach Anglero in the comments saying, let's go, guys. Big Will is here, says, what's good, fellas? Melita says, hey, Joe, Jonathan, Jay, and David, 3 J's and a D in the house on the local Gridiron as we get you ready for our playoff matchups. Well, you guys want to start breaking down bracket by bracket, or do you want to start with matchups for our teams? Which way you want to go?
Let's go matchups. I like matchups.
Right.
Yeah, matchups.
All right.
Mostly because I haven't looked at the brackets. So.
We'll start with the game that I think is going to be the most interesting just based off of familiarity. We'll start with the 4A in the East. Number 20, Moorhead, traveling to take on number 13, Carver. The Panthers have looked strong in the second half. They continue to build. A tough loss to Rockingham County to end the season, or going into that final stretch of the season, and then to Walkertown. But in those games, they've looked better and better and better. They're facing an opponent who's looked worse and worse and worse. So it brings up an interesting conundrum, one of those beautiful playoff conundrums, guys.
Yeah, I mean, a 13-20 matchup, that's not insurmountable by any means. And as you said, Moorhead has improved. Carver has kind of backslid ever since that Reidsville game. They have not looked like the powerhouse that they appeared to be. And I think a lot of that was the level of non-conference competition that they had scheduled. I mean, you play who's in front of you. That's all it is to it. But, they kind of got embarrassed a few of those games.
Carver.
My question is, has enough changed since this game between Moorhead and Carver earlier this season to change the outcome? And I'd say there is. I feel like momentum's probably more of a playoff baseball thing than football, but it's still certainly important in football. And ever since this game, you said it, Joe, it has just been straight downhill off a cliff for Carver. Get shut out against Rockingham County and Walkertown back-to-back weeks, then the loss to Bartlett-Yancey last Friday, whereas Moorhead, they won that Bartlett-Yancey matchup, and we got to talk to Coach McCants 2 days ago, and he was talking about how that was such a big confidence builder for Moorhead with that win. Then they beat McMichael, and even though they haven't gotten any wins recently, they still seem like a much more confident football team than I saw in weeks 3 and 4.
When you look at the numbers and break them down, let's just go per game. Passing yardage, 48 for Carver, Moorhead for 22, 155 rushing yards per game for Carver, and 11 per carry. A lot of that inflated based off of their non-conference schedule. Moorhead with 113 rushing yards per game. When you look at the totals, one thing that stands out to me, watching the tape, I wasn't there, but I did watch the full game on NFHS. So Coach Holmes has a choice to make. The first time matching up against them, one of the few times this year, they went full spread against Coach McCants and that defense for the Panthers. And they saw that at work. They went up 28-0 and controlled the game. Coach McCants has now seen that spread. So do you go back to the wing T for Carver? And if you do, I believe Coach McCants knows how to stop that wing T and the rushing offenses out there. So I feel like Moorhead is in a better position in that sense of Carver hasn't seen the best of what they can bring to the table, even defensively. And for me, against a wing T style offense, I think that Moorhead defense matches up nicely, especially with that linebacking core with Brock Blizzard. You've got Zion Blackstock who can do some damage back there as well, and Trooper Wright in stopping the run game. That's where I see an advantage for Moorhead, but Carver is at home too. I see this as a 50-50 toss-up game.
Oh, absolutely, man. I do see this as a 50-50 toss-up game. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but in the first half, they did run the spread against Moorhead, but then they come out in the second half and ran some
They
wing T
did.
as well.
They did.
I like Moorhead, I think, has got the edge as far as the quarterback goes. Will Gord's gotten a whole lot better from what I've seen. You know, we done the game against Rockingham. I mean, there were some throws, man, that, you know, he's just got to get rid of the football. It's like McCants talked about. You know, once he starts getting rid of the football and building more confidence, I think he's really going to he's going to shoot right up, and he's going to get better and better and better. But he's got to get rid of the football. I think, too, you know, when Carver and Moorhead played, you know, the first time around, it was a lot closer game than what it should have been, but it was closer. Outside of those 4 turnovers, I think it could have really been a heck of a much closer game. I'm going to call this the battle of the run game because that's all both of these teams love to do. But with, you know, Carver, like you said, Jay, just down spiraling right now, man, especially a tough loss against BY. I like Moorhead, man. I really do. I think that, you know, when you look at McCants, man, he can really adjust to what he needs to. And I think there's going to be some things that we're really going to see that he's going to run a few trick things. He's going to keep it simple, too, as well. But I like Moorhead in this one.
I think Simple wins. I think Simple wins this game. What team doesn't make the most mistakes? What team is fundamentally sound in their system defensively and offensively?
Yep.
I think Coach Eric Greer is going to have that defense ready to go in this one. I'm really looking forward to see what Moorhead does against the Yellow Jackets. Now, the Yellow Jackets are going to come out, and they're going to be ready firing too. This is a playoff appearance. This is something that means a lot to their school and getting back to where they were, and things haven't gone the way they wanted to end the season, but man, did they start the season strong. They got to a point that they were setting records for schools getting back to the mid-2000s and getting back to that championship caliber program that they want to be. So I find this game, it is really interesting to me. I think it might come down to a simple fact of this for Moorhead's offense.
Yep.
They only ran the ball 15 times against Carver in the first game for 183 yards.
Yep.
I think we'll see it a little bit more. I believe it's at least in the top 2 or 3 in their passing games, at least for attempts this season. Now that they're more comfortable in their identity, they get Will Gord more comfortable. They might only have 5 passes in this game, but I could see a 4-for-5 performance from Will Gord for a touchdown, 100 yards, or some big plays against that secondary. Obviously, the coaching staff saw something that they like to be able to throw the ball that many times in their matchup in the regular season. And for Carver, it's going to have to be at the line of scrimmage, getting to the point of attack and stopping Moorhead's running game. If they can do that, they've got the athletes to do it. We might be into a 21-20 ball game well, maybe not. Maybe more like 10-9, 11, 14-10, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, as long as I get that pregame fish sandwich, I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind that in the first matchup, Gord was out. He was hurt that game, didn't play. So, you know, they were going with a guy that hadn't played quarterback all season. And he threw some picks. You know, it happens. Guy hadn't been under center, or I should say behind center, snapping in the shotgun. But, you know, with having Gord back, him with his legs, you know, he can run the ball effectively on that read option.
I think he runs it more than he passes it.
He does. I mean, he had 11 rush attempts Friday against Walkertown and only threw 7 passes. But he was sacked 6 times. But, you know, that's Walkertown. I mean, come on. That defense, give me a break.
I was impressed by Moorhead's defense against Walkertown. I'm just a little bit worried about, Joe mentioned it, and I agree wholeheartedly. Their offense is going to have to move the ball and score some points for them to win this. Because, I mean, I think Carver's going to be able to score, and if Moorhead can't put up a touchdown or two, it's going to be very difficult.
And that's why I feel like that McCants is going to try to find some, you know, trickery along the way to try to find some ways to score points too as well. That was one of my key points going into the game, you know, just trying to find some ways to score some points, man. You know, they've only scored, I think, 55 points on the year. But That's just find a way to score some points, limit the turnovers, man, and man, this game's going to come down to the wire for sure.
McCants
Well,
doesn't seem like the type of guy you beat twice.
I will agree.
If there's a coach that can figure out a way to throw in some trickery and manufacture some points, it's Coach McCants.
So we saw that spread offense. If we could put the numbers from that first game, 28-0 win for Carver. Quentin Stone played mostly in the second half at quarterback. Malik Thompson in the first half, he was 4 for 6 for 32 yards and an interception. The rushing game, 15 for 183 for Carver, 12.2 per carry. They didn't even rely on that mostly in that game. So if they do make the adjustment, you got to imagine those numbers will be up in the matchup. And 44 carries, 173 yards for Moorhead in that game. My thoughts on this, and of course we're biased. We're Rockingham County guys, okay? But this is my feeling on it. This is my thoughts. In a must-win game against a team that matches up pretty well against you, I like the odds of players with their back against the wall and kids I know like Judson Freeze and Brock Blizzard with their backs against the wall with nothing left except this game, having to win to play. I mean, there's those guys are going to leave it all on the field for sure. Trooper Wright's going to leave it on the field. I like that part of this for Moorhead. I like the fact that they have a chance to avenge a loss earlier in the season and show where they have improved and where they've built throughout the year. And I look at Moorhead and what this would mean to the program. This would be the first playoff win for the Panthers since 2015 if they were able to get the job done. So there's a lot on the line for Moorhead, but also they're playing with house money at the same time. It's a beautiful position to be in as a football team, ain't it?
Hey, a team that has nothing to lose is very dangerous.
Big Will brings up a good point. Didn't Carver's QB get carted off against BY? I'm not quite sure about that, if he did or not. But Carver tried to throw the ball more times than they have in any game this season against BY. A lot of that was trying to catch up. But it brings up a good question in the comments. First, Big Will has the ice. And then Coach Lambert has the, how about that BY Carver from Friday night? Jay has some explaining to do. You can plead the fifth.
No. Would never do that.
Okay.
It does bring up an interesting point. So the Carver game, this game was probably carved out of some wood. It's the Cracker Barrel game. I thought we could talk a little bit about Cracker Barrel's logo change. If anybody has thoughts on that, not to send us on a sidetrack, but any thoughts on the Cracker Barrel change? Any logo changes we'd like to see in Rockingham County?
As he takes a sip of water.
You got a future as a politician, Jay. We're going to circle back to that.
Where'd he go?
Jay.
Hey,
He
Jay.
headed back into the hedge like Homer Simpson.
Hey,
All
look,
right.
Jay. Look, we all make mistakes, man. Trust me, I've made plenty of them throughout the years. That's okay. Hey, just keep your head up. Keep looking forward. So,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my college picks. Those are doing good.
You miss 100% of the shots.
Top
you don't take,
1,000.
though.
Top 1,000.
In a Kool-Aid cup.
Good job, Mom.
So Carver and Moorhead will match up in the 4A East in the first round. Number 20 Moorhead at 2-8, 6-4 for number 13 Carver. Joe Dexter, David Woods will be at that broadcast for you. We'll bring you that coverage in the first round from David Lash Stadium in Winston-Salem. We look forward to that. We'll have your pregame show starting at if they start the game at 7, I imagine they will because they do conference games. Your pregame show will be at 6:30. If they start at 7:30, your pregame will be at 7 o'clock on Roco Radio and RocoRadio.com. Any final thoughts on that matchup and what's ahead for Moorhead? If you're Coach McCants, what's the plan this week? What are you sharing with your team?
If I'm Coach McCants, I'm really pounding into their heads. Remember that last loss. Remember the mistakes. Don't repeat them. You know what you need to do against them, and you just got to execute.
I wonder if you want to tone down the emotions a little bit, because Carver seems like an emotional football team that can kind of get in over their heads. If Moorhead's more level-headed, could they come out of this on top because they didn't go in with too many nerves? I mean, I know there's a lot of pressure. You want to be the first team in a decade to win a playoff game. It's a big opportunity. A lot of these guys' last game. But sometimes being the more collected team and not acting as if there's so much on the line would serve them well.
I will completely agree with that, Jay. Absolutely. It's just another game. Go out there, have fun, fly around. 11 hats to the football on defense.
Hey, for all you Moorhead fans out there, I'll do you a favor, though. I'm picking Carver, okay? Just for you. All right? Look. And if
Do the reverse announcer jinx. I like it, Jay.
If Moorhead wins, then I think I get some credit, okay? Carver all the way.
I do want to point out, too, though, that this is a Carver team that is very athletic, 1,500 rushing yards on the season, 11 yards per carry. This is going to be a tough team to put out for Moorhead. This is a skilled squad, but I think that Moorhead could stand the test and stand tall in this game and definitely, at the very least, give Carver a run for their money. The winner will face the East Duplin squad, the number 3 seed in the 4A East bracket. A tough draw for both of those teams. East Duplin has been rolling all season long, doing what they do best, running the football. Let's go to our next matchup in the 5A East. It sounds weird to say. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm saying it. The 5A East for number 15 Rockingham County. They will host number 18 Dixon at 5-5 overall. The Rockingham County Cougars at 5-4 on the season. 24 points per game to 20 points per game against, with that 4-1 record in the Mid-State Conference. Dixon at 5-5, 1-5 in the Coastal Conference, averaging 42 points per game versus 36 points per game against. This is a team that averages just 29 passing yards per game, but running the ball per game, 468 yards per game. You didn't hear me wrong. 468 yards per game, 10 per carry, 4,680 rushing yards. Hatley, Ramey, Woodsy. This is what they're going to do. They're going to go wing tee. They're going to stand up all in unison. They're going to drop in unison. They're going to get in their position in unison, and they're going to run the dang rock. The pill will be worn out for Dixon, but Rockingham County has an answer of their own in Luke Stripmatter and James Thomas. That connection has been working solid over the last few weeks, especially in their final game against Moorhead this season, that 44-12 win. I like this matchup, but we got to talk about, and we cannot pretend about Dixon just being a 5-5 team. This is a team that took number 4 Croatan to the wire in the final game of the regular season, a 46-42 loss, had 19 forced downs in that game. They have the number 1 rusher in the state, DW.
Oh, yeah, man. J.J. Goulet, he is thrown 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's got 283 carries for 2,709 yards. He averages 270 per game. He's got 33 touchdowns, and he's got all 10 games, 100-plus yards. Against Croatan, who I know very well, you know, they run the triple option down there in Croatan. It was a 46-42 game. As a team, they had 56 carries for 435 yards, 6 touchdowns. Goulet had 33 for 253 and 5 touchdowns. And Delaney, who is another guy you have to watch for Rockingham, he had 14 carries, 130 yards. Oh man, I thought we was going to get the battle of the run game, but Hatley and Jay, man, this is going to be something to watch. You talking about an old school Dixon team like the Army, Navy, all in unison when they get down, get ready to go. They're going to power the football. Air Force Two. Sorry, Hatley. They're going to power the football, man. You know, they've had some decent wins against Topsail, Beddington, Hopton, Southwest Onslow. You know, they took Croatan, who's pretty good, down to the wire. Havelock, you know, they lost a 1-point game right there too. Man,
To your point, Woodsy, you mentioned all those teams. They're a battle-tested football team. They've played in 8 2-possession games, whereas Rockingham played in 2 of them. So if this comes down to the wire, then they're obviously the more experienced team in those games. And the number one concern for me is obviously fitting all of these stats onto my spotting board next to Goulet's name.
Well,
I mean, what?
Not so fast, kid. Not so fast. Not so fast. All right. Rockingham County is battle-tested as well. Western Alamance is a top 10 seed. They've played Reedsville. They've played Walkertown. They're battle-tested too now. And this
Not
is
to say that. I'm saying down to the wire, fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. There's more experience in those close games. Not to say tougher schedule, Dixon.
Here's why I like Rockingham County. You ready? We've given Dixon enough love. It's time to talk about Rockingham County and why I love them, okay? You ready? I'm going to break it down simple. Ashboro, they've got that experience in an option running team. Overtime, they've got that experience. They know how it works. They've got Coach Doug Robertson, Mr. Assignment Football, Mr. Understanding what it's like in these type of games and what you need to do in order to defeat your opponent, and he will have his team prepared. So will defensive coordinator Mike Jebbia. If you're going to give Mike Jebbia an offense that only does one thing to prepare for a week, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see what Rockingham County can do. Plus, they're at home in this matchup. That being said, not so fast to myself, okay? Because Dixon, in that Coastal Conference, 25% of the bracket in the 5A East is made up of Coastal Conference teams. The number 12 seed Havelock, the number 21 seed Richlands, they face off in the first round. Number 4 Croatan, they get the bye in the first round. Number 3 Northside Jacksonville in that conference. West Carteret, the number 11 seed in that conference, and of course Dixon. So
to be fair, all of Rockingham County's mid-state opponents did make the playoffs too, just not specifically in the 5A.
Yes. So this Coastal Conference is made up of, I think, 5 5A teams and 1 6A team. So, but 25% of the bracket is crazy on one side.
And I'll tell you what, Joe, to your point, too, you can't tell me Mike Jeppler down the road in his college days didn't prepare for this offense before. So, yeah, he's got, 20-plus years in college?
Also, don't forget, Dixon has to travel 230 miles.
That is a factor.
I mean, okay.
Goulet's got half a mile of rush yards, but still a lot.
The little bit of film that I've seen on Dixon, which was just in the pre-show before we came on air, I'll tell you, they look like the old 1940s Army black and gold. You know, back in the Four Horsemen days, that kind of stuff, and that's that style of football. These guys are big too; they are huge up front. But if I trust anybody as far as the coaching staff to get ready for something like that, it's Coach Jebby and Coach Robertson. They're going to have I expect them to have a spy on Dixon every play. They're going to play assignment football, and they're going to let the chips fall where they may. I expect Malachi Bryant is going to have to come up big in that game at the linebacker position.
Man, could you get Malik Bryant at linebacker, you get Christian De La Cruz at linebacker, you get Trey Taylor up front against this offense. It's almost like this defense was built to face a team like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you get those defensive backs stepping up to help with the run. You get James Thomas, Luke Strickmatter. stepping up to help with the run because they're not going to have to worry too much about them throwing the ball over their heads.
Yep, just go straight cover 0 3/4 of the time, shoot those gaps, and go to work.
Luke Stripmatter, could he have 10 tackles, 100 throwing, passing touchdown, 100 running, and a rushing touchdown in this one? Is it possible?
That's a possibility.
Is it possible? We will see. We talked about the coaching staff, but it's a veteran-laden crew for Rockingham County in this one, too. You've got the quarterback, the signal caller, Luke Stripmatter, in a big game. I've liked how he's progressed throughout the season, and I definitely like what I saw against the Panthers in the final game of the season in working athletically with James Thomas, whose athletic ability has been put on spotlight offensively as we continued to end the season. I just see him as a true weapon in this game as well, and whoever's back, if there is punts in this game, it might be a special teams return or something like that gives the difference. I feel like against a team that gives up 36 points per game, when you're a defense against the teams they face, Rockingham County, the teams they face, they've only given up 20 points per game. Against the teams they face, Walkertown, they face Reedsville, they face some pretty potent offenses. So I think
that Carver offense who got all those yards and scored all those points, Rockingham County went out there and pitched a shutout.
So if Rockingham especially gets a 2-possession lead in this game, they can control the game. It's one of those old school dogfight games.
Yeah,
and that's what they did against Carver. They just controlled it. I mean, they would not put the ball in Carver's hand unless they absolutely had to. And when they did, it was 7.5 minutes into the quarter.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to calculate the time of possession, but just a guesstimate, they had that ball 34 to 36 minutes of the 48.
And that's what Dixon looks to do. That's probably going to be their bread and butter. So when you're Rockingham on offense, you've got to score each and every time you can because you're not going to get many possessions against that offense.
Big Will brings up a good point in the comments. If we see a lot of 3rd and long, Brady Ross will have a good night. And the chemistry between Stritt and Ross over the last few weeks has been very strong. Two seniors that have been on the field of play together for quite some time. I look forward to seeing what Ross can do in this one as well. In that passing game, you might even see an offense like we saw against Moorhead where, people see us as something like this. They see us as a run-predominant team, but we can sling the rock.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's got 3 good receivers out there in Thomas, Dillard, and Ross. All of them with good speed. They run good routes. They've got good hands. If he can put the ball in their hands, they can make something happen.
Merry Christmas, guys. I'm kind of wishing I took this game.
We appreciate it, Joe. I love those option style offenses. I love the wing tee. This might be the most fun game that I've had all year.
Both of these are going to be fun, though. I mean, we got a pretty good draw. This is playoff football here.
Absolutely, we did, Jay.
2 teams for a reason.
Galat, that's a lot to stop. So that will be the key.
Is that how we pronounce it? Because I'm going to have to find that out.
So I don't have any scientific information. I haven't asked an athletic director or a coach, but the PA announcer in Havelock announced it Galat.
Okay, as long as we're all announcing it wrong, then that's fine. But I'm not going to go out on a limb, even if I'm right.
And a Big Will brings up a good point in this game. Discipline, just like we talked about with Carver and Moorhead. One play where you get off of your assignment, you make the wrong decision because you're too aggressive or you're not aggressive enough in certain situations on the point. That could be the difference in the game like this. So,
and let's not forget about the other kind of discipline. And this was where Walkertown suffered in the game against Moorhead Friday night, is discipline as far as penalties.
Yep.
They were penalized 6 times for 80 yards in the second quarter.
Goodness. Yeah, discipline will be a big part of it. And if I remember right, Dixon had some struggles last week against the penalties. And let's see, I'm taking a closer look at it. just 6 penalties for 55 yards, but that's 55 yards in a playoff game. That's the difference, maybe make or break, especially against two qualified teams like Dixon with their strength of schedule and Rockingham County with their strength of schedule.
And running that type of offense, you have a lot of chip blocking. You have guys hitting low, and you're susceptible to getting a lot of holding penalties too if somebody can break the gap.
Coach Lamberth is always in the clutch. She says Galop is correct. So Coach Lamberth always knows. We need a shirt that says Coach Lamberth knows with a period on it because he knows everything. He's always helping us out. We appreciate everything.
Bo knows and Bob knows.
Well, let's talk our last matchup in the first round with Reidsville receiving a bye. It's Shelby versus McMichael. You hear that? You hear that? It's two top 10 passing offenses in the 3A matching up in the first round. How about them apples? We talked about running game for you guys and us, and McMichael's heading on the road to Charlotte to face an air attack led by Land Farmer and Kai Tart, also in the top 10 in passing yards. Looking forward to it.
I mean, Land Farmer from Shelby, he is looking at setting state records all time possibly this season. That kid is amazing. It's going to be a big task for the McMichael secondary because Shelby likes to air the ball out. If there's a team that likes to air it out more than McMichael, it's Shelby.
Mm-hmm. I know that coming into this year, high school overtime was releasing these are the top quarterbacks by stat category for the 3A. And then you put a little control find Farmer, and he shows up 9 times in almost every category. Doesn't turn it over a lot, throws a lot of touchdowns, one of the best touchdown interception ratios. This is all coming into this year, and he's had a fantastic year so far. He has the 4th best touchdown interception ratio coming into this year, and saw something saying that he was the first Shelby quarterback with 8,000 yards and 100 touchdowns passing. So, I mean, this is some beast mode stuff from a player right here for Shelby. And Michael's going to have their hands full.
Well, I mean, those kind of numbers, they recall a guy that played quarterback in North Carolina some years back, a guy named Chris Leak.
Ooh, Chris Leak.
If you don't remember him, if you don't know who I'm talking about, look him up.
Independence, right?
Charlotte Independence, played under Tom Knotts.
I'm going to tell you what, too, and this is not even Lane Farmer's best season. I mean, 32 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, man. It was a couple of years ago, back-to-back, that he threw 40-plus touchdowns in a season. His freshman year, I think he had 40-plus, and that's when we covered that against Reidsville, right?
Yes, yep.
Joe?
Yep.
But, yeah, man.
Again, then you guys got to see him again last year in the first round of the playoffs.
We sure did. We've seen a lot of Lane Farmer for sure.
2,483 yards passing this year. That's 5th in the NCHSAA and 2nd in the 3A, a 68% completion percentage. And as Jay and David mentioned, 32 touchdowns to 6 interceptions on the season versus Kai Tart, 10th in the 3A with 1,743 passing yards and 17 touchdowns for McMichael's offense. How do they get things going against the Shelby squad? This is a tough team that they're going to face defensively, but I don't think it's a game where you automatically think that they can't get that offense moving. They've proven, I mean, they scored last week against that vaunted Reidsville defense twice and made plays happen. How do you make sure that you stay in this game if you're McMichael? Well,
for one, for me, it's going to be protection. Even if you've got to get an extra guy up there, because in the first quarter, man, last week, it was 4 or 5 straight times that, it was sacks across the board. I mean, and you got to get rid of the football. Just sling it. Go ahead and just take your chance. I mean, this is what this offense run and shoot's built on. Take a shot. Just if you're going to throw it, just throw it. Find you just read the defense. Like I've been telling Kai, read the defense, see what matchups you might think you might like, and just sling it. I mean, this is a tough Shelby team, man. They're well disciplined. They're fundamentally sound. They're one of the best teams in the state, year in and year out, alongside with Reidsville and a couple of others. But just go out there.
There are Reidsville fans in the
Hey, Reidsville knows. They all, Joe, trust me, they all know.
Yeah, they know what Shelby's about.
Even in the we all know how this Shelby Reidsville thing rolls. That's for a whole nother story. But I mean, if you're McMichael, man, go out there and play loose. Have fun with this. This is one of the top teams, like I said, in the state. Just do what you can, man. Go out there, just have some fun. Look to see. I look to see maybe some trickery come out of that too as well. I mean, just go out there and play loose.
David, I know you're usually a fan of them taking the checkdowns, but I think if you're going to take some risks, obviously this game, and I think you're kind of alluding to that because this is the playoffs. Might be the last game of the season, and I might be wrong, but I don't think Shelby's forced a whole lot of turnovers. I think they might have 8 overall.
Yeah, they got 8. But
that's a good amount, but it's not immaculate for high school numbers.
Well,
for
the
a
one
team
number
that's a 10
that does bother me, Jay, is they got 26 sacks on the year, and
they like the blitz.
And Kai really, if he has a few seconds to let the play develop and let his receivers get downfield, he can make a play. But he hasn't had all that much time this year, so
not really.
Well, where he picked apart BY, especially in the first half, was the stuff across the middle.
Yeah.
He had Solomon Simpson there 8-10 yards past the line of scrimmage at will, hit him, and Solomon was able to run with it after the catch. If Shelby doesn't keep a linebacker at home, if they go with this all-out blitz, you've got to be looking for that because it's going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Big Will in the comments with a important thing he says here that their conference is bad though, easy to pad stats. You mean you're not feeling it for Highland Tech?
Highland Tech 90-0.
That was the same day that Michael beat Cedar Ridge.
That's that last game that they played against Burns the last week of the season. That one came down to the wire. Shelby won that one on field goal, and Burns is number 8 in the 4A West, and gave them all they could handle. Burns is talented. I think their losses went to Kings Mountain, Crest,
and Lincolnton.
Mm-hmm. Throw out the Highland Tech game and the games before that, though. So since September 5th, 6-1, outscoring opponents by 221 overall. So that's 30 points a game, more than that.
Man.
And Michael since September 5th has really struggled.
Let's just look at Land's numbers this year, and game by game, if I can find it here. Oh, we're looking at basketball. That doesn't help, does it? That's coming up. It's coming up shortly.
I think it does. I think it helps.
So 190 to start the year against Kings Mountain. Crest 107 in the 2 losses. And then against Lincoln held to 210 on 18 for 31. So obviously, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. But if you can stop their passing attack, they're going to.
Yeah, if you can stop Land Farmer, you got a chance.
You've got a chance.
Yeah, they're not averaging, but 77 yards per game on the ground.
And they've got one of the top receivers as well in the state, so in Williams. So it'll be interesting to see. McMichael's got to get some pressure on Land if they can. But that secondary, now it's going to stink with I'm guessing, what we saw at Reidsville with some of our players down in that game. But that secondary for McMichael has surprised a lot of people this season, not those that know the kids and know how tough they play and what they can do on the field, but maybe they can keep this one a little bit closer than people are anticipating. It's going to take the secondary play, and it's going to especially take the linebackers being able to read on that passing game and make adjustments that way.
That about covers it.
That about nails it down, doesn't it? Those are our matchups here on the local Gridiron, Roadco Radio, roadcoradio.com. We want to talk those are the only matchups in the conference. Everybody else on a bye this first round, so that'll break it down that way. Let's take a closer look at some of these brackets and talk some talking points on the bracket side as well. I really want to talk more in depth about some of these. Let's start with the 3A. I'll start with the 3A West. Let's start there with that gauntlet because I really think we all believe that 3A is going to be, oh boy, that 3A is going to be difficult. Let me try that again. Uh-oh, I lost my button. Let's just redo it, everybody.
Joe gets a party foul for this.
Offsides, local Gridiron, number 1 in the left box corner. All right, here we go. Now we've got it. There we go. Let me take the scrolling down too. So this is the 3A. Let's start in the West here. And it starts with the number 1 seed, Mountain Heritage, 9-1 on the season, 42 points per game, 14 points per game given up. They run the ball a ton, 2,768 yards, 8 per carry, 34 touchdowns, led by junior Irvin Rodriguez and senior Kaysen Jones with 871 yards rushing apiece and 9 touchdowns apiece, with Jones averaging 12 yards per carry. Senior Braxton Batchelor, 9 sacks, which ranks 4th in the 3A for the top-seeded Mountain Heritage. Mount Airy, the Granite Bears, Team DW, 8-2, 5-0 in conference, 36 points per game to 20 points per game given up, 1,900 yards rushing on the ground, 194 rushing yards per game and 9 per carry, led running the football by senior Tayshawn Martin, who leads the way with 1,329 rushing yards, 11 yards per carry, and 21 touchdowns. One of the players to watch for them, though, is DJ Joyce on that defensive line, ranked 2nd in the 3A with 11.5 sacks. Number 3, Eastern Randolph, the Wildcats, 8-2, 4-0 with 33 points per game and 9.5 per game against. That defense giving up just 9.5 points per game. They have not given up more than 14 points in any win this season with a balanced offensive attack, 1,800 passing yards to 1,600 rushing yards, and quarterback Cade McCollum with 1,863 yards passing, 17 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. A team we're familiar with on the basketball court, North Stanley is the number 4 seed in the 3A West, 9-1, 6-1 in conference, 32 points per game to 16 points per game given up. A rush attack with 250 rushing yards per game and 9 yards per carry, with 6 rushers on that team at over 200 yards. Jonathan Hatley saw this team this year 8-2. Providence Grove, the number 5 seed, 31 points per game and 16 points per game given up, 1,000 yards passing, 1,900 yards rushing on the season. And we'll throw in a little extra, number 6, Walkertown, 8-1, 4-1 in the conference, 40 points per game, 14 points per game against. Jarrell Crawford, the quarterback, top 5 in passing yards on the season in 3A with 2,153 yards and 23 touchdowns. Cam Cartledge is 5th in tackles in the 3A, and his 32 tackles for loss is well beyond anyone in the 3A division, and his 11 sacks ranks 3rd. So that's the 3A West in a nutshell. Overall thoughts on the 3A West, and how do you guys see this playing out?
I'm going to tell you what, it's an absolute gauntlet. And you didn't even mention East Rutherford with Brandon Pinkerton.
The number 7 seed.
Back to back memories.
Day. I mean, you got Mount Airy, Shelby.
And then Lincolnton is the 8.
Yeah, I mean, it is murderer's row all the way across the board.
I'll tell you.
This one,
I don't know, man.
Hey, this bracket is not Fox News, is it? It's not fair and balanced.
And I've got a personal connection to the team that nobody else is familiar with in North Stanley. My cousin is the strength and conditioning weightlifting coach there. They have built that program up over these last few years and have really improved it. They don't play in as strong a conference as, say, East Rutherford, Lincolnton, Walkertown. I see them as kind of the I'll call them the Randleman of that bracket. You know, Randleman year after year they're an 8-2 team, but their conference is on the weaker side.
Yeah.
How much does having a bad conference or a conference that you can defeat easily matter, though, since Reidsville hasn't lost a conference game since I was 3, and they just keep winning rings? I mean, it might not be
There's
great,
a difference
but
in being a dominating team in a good conference and a dominating team in a bad conference. This is
correct.
a good
That's
conference. You know, you're talking North Stanley, they're playing teams like Albemarle, Thomasville, guys that are ranked lower in their divisions in the playoffs. You know, they don't face a number 6 3A team like Reeds does.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. And I'm not knocking North Stanley. They've come a long way with that program. I know my cousin, his strength and conditioning program, he has really, really gotten those kids in the weight room, and it goes across all sports. They play a little bit different brand down there. It's not this big athletic, showy stuff. They're fundamentally sound, and they just got a lot of heart.
So as we focus on this West side, how do you guys feel about the champion of the West coming out of the bottom side of this bracket? Either Walkertown, East Rutherford, Shelby,
Mount Airy.
I feel like this is a bottom-heavy bracket for sure. And I mean, we haven't even mentioned Hendersonville and what they've done this season. They've had a really good year. We're not giving the respect Mountain Heritage maybe deserves based off of the season that they have had. I just feel when you look at Walkertown and East Rutherford and what kind of matchup that might be if they match up, or a matchup between Mount Airy and whoever pulls out at the top there, we're going to have a second round and third round matchup situation in that West bracket that could get pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, the winner of the Shelby McMichael game has to face East Rutherford in the second round. Whichever team that is, better be ready for a ground-based attack that smashes you dead in the mouth all night.
Pulling guards all night long. I mean, just straight up the gut, no holds barred. Gonna put, like you said, punch you right in the mouth. Oh my goodness, I don't know, man. Like, who do y'all got coming out of this thing on the West?
My thing is, Walkertown matches up defensively with nearly any team on that side of the bracket.
Agreed.
Okay.
That defense, led by Cam Cartledge, is insanely good.
And that defensive line for them is severely underrated at times just because of what Cartledge does. There's a reason they're able to play 2 linebackers. It's because they have a strong secondary, which we talk about. But it's also because that defensive line with Jarrett Poe and company up front is very athletic. So no matter, to Hatley's point, whatever they face, whether it's a passing attack with that secondary and the 4.4 speed back there, whether it's a running attack first with the athletic front they have with the best linebacker in the state, in my opinion, then they match up pretty well defensively. Now, there's championship pedigree all over the place, though, down there. You got East Rutherford, who upset the best football program in the 2A last year. You've got Shelby, who is the winningest program in state history. You've got Mount Airy, the Granite Bears,
perennial state championship.
That score that can easily score 70 points a game every game.
It's gonna be, that one's one of those ones where you don't predict. I don't think. I don't know if you can actually predict who comes out of there.
I got to watch Providence Grove. Jay and I did that game Labor Day weekend, and they played Moorhead. I thought that they struggled a bit against Moorhead. And if they play as sloppy as they did against Moorhead, they make an early exit.
Well, Walkertown kind of played sloppy against Moorhead when it comes to penalties. Maybe Moorhead's just a team that causes you to not be as good offensively, and I don't know if that would cause more penalties, but maybe that's just a Moorhead effect, and maybe that'll come into play for Moorhead Carver this Friday.
I think part of their thing is they do things to frustrate teams. And I'm not saying that they're playing dirty. I'm not saying anything along those lines, but they just seem to get in teams' heads somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could be a big part in their game against Carver. If they can get in Carver's heads and make them lose their cool, cost them stupid penalties here and there.
I'm not a you've got the bracket. You've built the brackets, right?
Oh, yeah. I got all three of them.
So help out a dummy that can't follow a bracket line, okay? Is there a possibility that East Rutherford would play Walkertown? Is that a possibility? Unless they got to the West Finals.
It would be West semifinal.
It'd be a semifinal matchup. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well,
State quarterfinals.
Tell you what, I will make an early prediction out of this bracket. I think Shelby goes down in second or third round. I just don't think, with them not having a good ground game, I think eventually somebody figures out Lane Farmer, and I think they go down. Outside of that,
they're looking at East Rutherford second round, and then third round, they're more than likely looking at Mount Airy.
Yeah, I think Shelby goes down. Now the rest of it, y'all have at it because I don't know.
We should come back Thursday and do a mega show where we predict every single game for every single bracket. 1A through 8A.
Jay, we don't know if you'd survive it. Jay, we really don't know if you'd survive
By
it.
the time we finish, the games are already over.
If you're going to bet on games, bet whatever Jay didn't pick, at least for high school. Now, listen to him on college.
If you're going to bet on games, you're already dumb enough to bet on what I picked. So, yeah, you'll probably lose money.
Well, I was just joking with y'all, earlier in the game. I said, okay, yeah, McMichael and BY in the state championship game. But I think, man, I just think I think Shelby goes down for sure. I just don't, I don't think Lane Farmer, and he might prove me way wrong because, he might go in there and start flinging a rock around come playoff time, and that might take them all the way to the state championship. They might win the whole thing, but man, this is a tough.
They got a tough one to get out of that 3A West.
Yeah, for sure.
If they make it to the championship, I got to say that 3A East. You got James Keenan up the top, and Pender is the 2. Northeastern's down this year compared to what they were.
Well, Wallace Rose Hill's always sneaky.
And they're 16 this year.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
They'll have to play James Keenan if they advance past the first round. And we know how Wallace Rose Hill likes to throw those upsets, so Keenan might be making an early exit.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
They're still running that traditional offense where I believe they have one back with 2,400 yards or something to that extent for Wallace Rose Hill. I mean, Northeastern sticks out because of their championship pedigree and showing up against Reedsville and always being a tough team in the 2A. But I'm with.
And, you got Farmville Central over there as a 13.
So here's what I'll say, and I'm not judging it I'm going to preface this by saying I don't know these teams this year. This is just based off of historical information and has no predication on what will happen on Friday night. But there are several teams in that bracket that have been top seeds in the 2A East in the previous years. Whiteville, Princeton, that fall out really fast. Who knows what's going to happen in that bracket either, just based off of that, in my opinion. Now, I'm not judging it again on this year. Martin County's another team that has fallen early in the past. So and if BY wins their first round game, they get Martin County second round. Now, there is a team. I got a sleeper team on that side. They're 6-4 overall, and they are Vikings, which I can't root for Vikings. It just hurts my feelings. They hurt my feelings today, defeating the Lions. But the Kinston Vikings, that number 14 seed, they've got a kid at receiver, and Tyreek Cooper. Listen to these numbers. You ready? 20.7 yards per catch, 1,523 receiving yards, 21 touchdowns on the season, and 73 receptions.
Maybe Justin
What's
Jefferson
the
got
size?
confused.
I hear
What's
you,
the size of
Megatron.
Oh my gosh. He is 6'2", 180 pounds. Now, I only caught this just looking and doing some research before our broadcast, so I've never actually seen him play. But this is a team in Kinston that has defeated Wallace Rose Hill this year. They've played Aiden Griffin Tuft, who's one of the top teams. They defeated Farmville Central this season. They played Tarboro down to the wire, 42-35, to end the season. And they
That's
faced
big time on the resume right there.
Yeah.
and they faced Northmore at 3-7 to start things off. I mean, I could see them making some noise. I'd like to do some more research on them and watch some film on them. But that's a team that stood out to me. Just breaking it down and looking at it. I believe Princeton.
And I've heard good things about Aiden Grifton in that 9 seed.
I think Princeton has another top 5 rusher at least in the top 5 in North Carolina in running the football too. So
Well, what
who
about
knows?
Pender? I mean, what are they looking like?
Your guess is as
2
good as
seed.
mine. Let's find out. Let's do some research live on the local Gridiron here.
I mean, they were ranked number 6 overall in RPI in the 3A and wound up with a 2 seed. So that tells you how strong the West is.
Yeah.
I wonder what sports the East is going to be stronger in.
Soccer.
Is that it? Is it going to
Golf.
be basketball West, baseball West?
Well, I mean, you got to think they've got Reedsville in the East now, at least for these.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, like, is that going to carry over to basketball where we're thinking, oh, there's a lot of strong teams to the West? Because I don't know.
9-1 for Pender. They defeated West Bladen, Red Springs, who's in the playoffs, a 17 seed. Wallace Rose Hill, who's in the playoffs. They beat them in 2 overtimes. Anson, who's in the playoffs. Clinton, who's in the playoffs. South Lenoir and Southwest Onslow, they dropped to East Duplin in the second to last game of the season by 20 and beat Hyde Trask 42-13. 414 points scored this year, though. And they're
getting 41 points a game.
4,200 rushing yards, 8.2 per carry, and 45 rushing touchdowns for Pender.
Wow.
So
Another running team.
Yeah.
I wonder if
But
any of
that
those
seems to
running
be
backs
the
got
thing
four
down
in a
east.
game.
You know, you got these heavy run teams running options, running old school power eye stuff. And out west, you got these teams. Some of them are straight ahead smash mouth, but you got the air attacks.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Coach Morgan in the comments, he says Shelby going down first round. I'd love to see it. Man, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it.
Oh man.
If there's a secondary that matches up, if they can outthrow them too. They can throw the ball. 2 teams throwing the ball. Anything can happen on the ball yard. I love it. I love it. Let's talk this 4A bracket, this slicer, this unbelievable bracket it's a big bracket. In the 4A East, Reedsville, the number 1 seed. In the 4A West, Brevard, the number 1 seed. Let's start on the east side. We know about our matchups on the east side. Number 13, Carver, and number 20, Moorhead. Now, a team that we have talked about on the local gridiron a little bit, but deserves their recognition for what they've done this season on the turnaround. We saw them last year, part of the Mid-State 2A Conference, the number 7 seed, the 2 TW Andrews Red Raiders, and what they've done this year. Congratulations to them getting that 7th seed, 8-2 overall in the year, 4-2 inside the Pac-7 Conference with some big wins early in the year, and also a win over Montgomery Central 2 weeks ago, defeating Ledford earlier this year, and it's good to see them land that number 7 seed. The West, the East, the balance, I think, is a little bit better in the 4A compared to the 3A.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to tell you, man, one team that I looked at, with Jordan Matthews and Red Springs, I looked at Red Springs, man. They are a couple of one-score games away from being a 9-1 team. So, you had losses to Pender, which was 36-28. Outside of St. Paul, Purnell Sweat was 14-12 in overtime. South Brunswick was 40-36. South Columbus was 14-13. Whiteville was 33-28. So there's a little sneaky team. Like I said, outside of that, man, they could have been sitting at 9-1 with several one-score games. Jordan Matthews, they've had tough losses to Southwestern Randolph, who's always a good team. We've seen them a couple of times. Let's see. East Duplin, they're going to be tough to beat. TW Andrews.
The last 2 teams that Reedsville faced in the state championship game are on this East bracket, in East Duplin and Clinton. So
I think it's easy for the Red Springs thing, though, for Reedsville fans to maybe freak out because some round of 32 trauma from last year. But you got to remember that 32 teams this year is not the same level of competition as 32 teams last year. Because last year there were half as many brackets going on. So 80 more teams made the playoffs this year. There will be, hard to do the math in my head, I guess 192 2A through 7A teams still competing at this time. And last year it would be down to 128 in the round of 32. So the competition is a little bit less competent in the round of 32 just because of how far the playoffs have expanded. So. Yeah. And also the Red Springs thing, the one possession games, that's not necessarily a good thing to be losing in so many one possession games. All I hear from that is really that if this somehow came down to one possession, Reedsville would probably win.
I wasn't saying,
And you mentioned Southwest Randolph. They're the number 8 seed in the 4A East, which.
So who? All right. So they got a bye. So who is playing in the first round to play them?
Eastern Wayne and Anson.
Anson. Okay. I don't know.
Anson just barely snuck in. They were the 24th seed in the 4A East.
So yeah, I could see Southwestern moving ahead along to the next round, and going against Reedsville, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and
because Reedsville would face the winner of Jordan Matthews, Red Springs.
Yeah,
and so then that next round game could be Reedsville and Southwest Randolph very well.
Yeah.
If you're a Reedsville fan, do you cheer for Jordan Matthews because of the things you outlined, David, or do you want Red Springs to win because they're an hour and a half further away?
I'm not.
I think you root for having a good bye week and doing what you do. That's at this point.
How do you do that as a Reedsville fan? Go to the Jordan Matthews game if you're no, I'm kidding.
Well, Reedsville is very familiar with Jordan Matthews, former conference members together, so they know Jordan Matthews a little bit. So.
Yeah, over on that east side of the bracket, you also got the 21 seed in Burlington Cummings. The Mid-State Conference, we're familiar with them. They've played the last few years at Moorhead. They rivaled, they went with some dog fights with Reedsville when all of us were in the same conference. and that's been probably 8 years ago.
What about West Craven?
Ledford's on that side of the bracket. I mean, they're a 23 seed. They got to play Clinton, who we're familiar with from 2 years ago. West Craven, they're the 2 seed. I'm not familiar with them.
Let's break it down a little bit. I've got information on the top 5 seeds in the East. We know Reidsville, 43 points per game, 15 points per game against that dominant defense. Deontay Neal, 9th in receiving in the 4A. Kendra Harrison, 17 receiving touchdowns, ranks 1st in the 4A. Cadence Pruitt's 34 hurries is the top in the 4A as well. Russ Craven, that team you mentioned, 9-1, the number 2 seed, 6-0 in conference, 36 points per game against 18 points per game against. This is the team that everybody assumed would land that number 2 seed throughout most of the season. 1,500 yards passing to 1,900 yards rushing. Quarterback DJ Davis is the name to watch for West Craven. 2,454 total yards. That ranks 3rd in the 4A, and senior middle linebacker Emmanuel Miller has 12 sacks. That ranks 1st in the 4A. He also holds 31 tackles for loss. So they're sound defensively, they're sound offensively. East Duplin 8-2, the number 3 seed, 5-0 in conference, 32 points per game, 14 points per game against. 4 players over 220 yards rushing. Wouldn't expect anything different from East Duplin. 2,363 yards rushing, 33 rushing touchdowns. Senior Sean Davis leading the way with 890 yards and 12 touchdowns. And senior Zachary Ball has 7 interceptions on that defense. Central Davidson, the number 4 seed at 9-1, 6-0, 37 points per game to 11 points per game against. They run the football, but no advanced stats due to no stats on Max Preps. Randleman, the number 5 seed, 7-3, 5-1 in conference, 28 points per game to 20 points per game against. The player to watch for Randleman is quarterback John Kirkpatrick, who ranks 2nd in passing yards in the 4A at 2,243 yards, 21 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. So we can take a closer look at West Craven, see what they bring to the table. Out of Vanceboro, North Carolina, 9-1 overall. I haven't had a chance to watch them yet offensively. Maybe we can watch some highlights here. Last week against Eastern Wayne. But I think they're a pretty balanced attack. I mean, they played strong against Eastern Wayne as well in the first round. So we'll see if we can get these highlights to roll and check out West Craven. But the number 2 team, and by far, I believe everybody expected them to be at that number 2 spot. Let's see what we got here. This is a big game, too, last week. West Craven is in the red and white. So I did watch them a little bit now that I remember this. They like to throw and pitch and catch.
Goodness.
Also, they're going to run a lot of read option, as you'll see in the highlights here. But that's DJ Davis right there, one of the top players in 4A total yards-wise. He'll run the football as well.
Really come with a blitz to see what he does.
Nice step up in the pocket, and NFHS doing what it does and not following the football.
Oh, a touchdown.
Actually, when you started to turn on the highlights, I was trying not to be cynical and think, well, that's probably not going to show. But
I don't know, man. That looks pretty good right there. I like what I'm seeing. To run a lot of trip.
They'll spread it out, but they watching the game, and it's not in the highlights, they run a ton of read option.
Oh, he brought the blitz, then he backed off. Oh, man, what a catch.
Play. What a play there by the receiver.
I don't know. I like what I see out of West Craven. I really do.
Yeah, they're very athletic. Hey, that play looks familiar, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Eastern Wayne, I believe, came into this game with 7 wins. Here they are on defense, showing 4 up front. 4-3 look. Ooh.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Eastern Wayne was probably winning this game away from having a bye week the first week because they wound up number 9 seed.
I'll tell you what, man. After the Newbern game,
What
what
a
I'm looking at
ball
right
there.
now.
We got to watch that again. If I don't break the internets. I may have broke the internets. We get the wheel. Okay, here we go. We're going to go back just a little bit further. Man, that's a beautiful shot right there. Just to see the ball high pointed. Look at this throw.
Oh,
Right in the breadbasket.
Money. Wow.
That's why he's in the top in total yards in the 4A. And he
You're
does
about
run
35
the ball
yards
athletically.
downfield. A lot of air under it, though. That hung.
It's okay to hang it if there's nobody else but the fingertips of your receiver at the end of it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Yep. That's
That's a terrible throw.
That's what I expected. He gone. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Hatley, you say it with grace,
O-line
don't
looks
you?
a little slow. I agree with that.
That was a horrible
Man.
throw.
This ain't going to be any slouch there.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
There's that read option. See ya.
Jeez.
Okay.
NFHS with the assist and cutting off the touchdown.
Wes Craven. I like what I'm seeing. They can make a pretty good run.
I think after what I've watched, they're definitely the favorite to make it to the finals alongside Reedsville. There's not another team in this division that stands out, but I'm always discounting these teams in the East, like East Duplin, and their toughness. So maybe they can make a run. I don't know, but to me, those are the two teams in the East. On the West side, we know about Brevard undefeated on the season. We know about Burns. Let me pull up the 4A yet again. Is there anything that you guys see on the 4A side that stands out on the West?
Well, you got Pisgah, the 4 seed. They're a solid team.
I could see West Stokes making it past the first round for sure.
Yeah, they're playing 4, but first round. Let's see.
Hey, I'm not saying this.
I see RS Central in that 18 spot. They got Wilkes Central first round. Winner of that one goes on to face Hibberton. Hibberton's the 2 in the 4A West.
All right. My one prediction I'll give you. This is my prediction. Number 1, Brevard faces number 16, West Stokes. The Wildcats win.
Oh, whoa, whoa! All right,
Listen, you got Trent Lohman over there coaching.
They're sneaky, and we've seen what he's all about when it comes to coaching. Man,
And they've got
Without a doubt.
I know
I'm
they're
staying
4
out of
and
the predictions
6.
game.
I know they're 4 and 6. Hear me out. I know they're 4 and 6. But they've won their last 3. They
He's
had
a Lions
lost.
fan, guys.
They had lost 5 in a row or 6 in a row, 5 in a row, heading to that one. And they faced North Davidson. They faced Northeast Guilford. They faced Community School of Davidson. They faced Statesville. Now they have played Forbush this season. They lost 24-17.
That was early in the season, right?
Yep. Then they faced Mount Airy, lost 37-3. Since that point, they have not lost. I mean, maybe I'm pushing things a little bit here. Maybe, probably, but I just know they have Jackson Salmons on that offensive line, so they've got weapons on the offensive line. They still have Nate Akers, I believe, at tight end. They've got talent, and I don't know the story on injuries or anything like that, or how they've got they've got they've got Nate Akers still, so I don't know. I could see it.
They're going to have a hard. Whoever advances out of that one's going to have a hard time with Brevard. Brevard is a solid team. I'm looking more toward the third round because the number 8 seed Burns took Shelby down to the absolute wire. They faced the winner of Lexington Senior High School and West Stanley.
Oh.
I've got to favor Lexington in that one. West Stanley's the 24 seed. They snuck in. But Burns is in that tough conference with Shelby. Took that tough last second loss to Shelby. I think they could give Brevard a hard time in that third round.
All right, since we've done it with I think we need to watch some highlights of this Brevard squad, undefeated on the year.
I'll tell you what, man. I will say this, and Joe can contest to this. Brevard fans, they travel. So whenever it comes time for them to, man, let's see what we got
Well, they
here.
won't be traveling until state championship if they make it that far.
If they make it, man. They travel.
I'm pretty sure Brevard is in
The white.
white on this in this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's at West Henderson.
But that is Brevard's colors, too, on the other side.
If it's on Brevard's Max Preps page, then it's just whoever makes the cool play, right?
Basically. All right. I thought they were going to be more run heavy.
Look at this. This might be it right here. No, play action. Ooh, okay.
Again, the MVP, NFHS, who caught that touchdown in the corner.
Where are they playing at? Wisconsin?
I don't know.
Might as well be there at West Henderson.
The camera was in Antarctica, couldn't catch the touchdown.
What's the purpose of the W that's red and everything else is blue? I'm trying to figure that out.
West Henderson, man. West Henderson. So all passes here against West Henderson on the highlights.
That camera runs a 1040, doesn't it?
Wow. They're a quarterback.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Take your time there, buddy. I want to go out and, like, I know I'm broadcasting most of the time, but
nice little RPO.
There he is.
Go out and watch the camera, like the NFHS camera. Can you see it from the stands?
Yeah, but it's stationary.
Okay, because it seems to move like.
That's AI movement.
Here we go. We got trips left.
I thought the AI moves the camera.
Yeah, but it's the camera's encased, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
a dogfight.
Got a heavy set formation. Roll out. Oh, that's double coverage. That's got to be picked, right? Oh, well, we can't see.
Find out next week on this episode of NFHS.
Oh.
Hey, look, you thought it was hard to see things when you're listening to the radio.
We give a clearer picture than these cameras. Give me a break here.
Fast receivers, man.
They are fast. You are right about that.
Oh, I formation.
Boom, boom, bum, bum, bum. Bumbling, stumbling, fumbling.
I don't know, man. I like this Brevard team. course, I've seen them
team.
before, man, but they're a lot better now.
I remember some of the names from 2 years ago too.
Yeah.
Connolly, 1,027 yards, 71% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns, zero interceptions.
Okay, so that one in double coverage, that was a touchdown. That was not.
That was a touchdown. Yep.
Okay.
They
What are the
really
rushing
put on their
numbers?
highlights throwing an interception, Woodsy.
Man, they run a bunch
Like-
of people. 1,845 rushing yards, 7 yards per
Even
carry,
his interceptions look good.
but 687 yards for Thompson. They run the quarterback a lot. Kessinger has 149 yards and 11.5. Not a lot, but he's effective with it.
Effective when he does it, yeah.
Yep. And then Connolly also is the third leading rusher, a quarterback on the squad at 213 yards and 10 per carry with 4 touchdowns. So it looks like a two-back system with quarterbacks that can move if need be. And then receiving, it's Thompson Wynn. I remember him from a couple years ago doing 900 yards receiving so far this season. So they're dangerous. They are dangerous. All right, one more bracket to break down before we head on out of here, the 5A bracket. We start in the East, Rockingham County and Dixon. We broke down at the start of this. The winner of that game will take on the number 2 seed, Northeast Guilford. Hunt, the number 1 seed in the East. Let's take a closer look at the East Hunt. The Warriors 8-2, 5-1 in conference, 39 points per game, 22 points per game against, 2,524 rushing yards and 8 per carry, led by junior quarterback Mez Harris, over 1,000 yards rushing. Northeast Guilford, the number 2 seed with that 2 quarterback system, 8-2, 4-1 in conference play, 27 points per game to 12 points per game against. Zorion Campbell, 710 yards passing, 299-yard rushing, and 13 total touchdowns. Jaquez Crawford, 961 passing yards, 12 touchdowns total. Number 3 seed in the East is Jacksonville Northside out of that Coastal Conference, 8-2, 5-1 overall. Croatan, the number 4 seed, also out of the Coastal Conference, 9-1, 5-1 in conference. They beat Dixon by 4 points in the final week of the season. Currituck County is the number 5 seed, 8-2, 4-1, 36 points per game, 192 points against. So what that tells me, folks, is that East is going to be a lot of old school football.
Cheers, Jay.
Cheers.
Yeah, a lot of teams from down at the coast. Down in that Camp Lejeune area, Fayetteville area, military kids. Doesn't surprise me that they're running option style offenses. But then you got the contingency from up this way. You got Eastern Elements in the 16. You've got Southeast Elements in the 9. You got Western Elements in the 10, and we've got Rockingham County in the 15. And all these teams except Rockingham County have traditionally been East teams in years past in their divisions.
Yes.
So these teams are going to be familiar with each other. The 2 wrinkles that are really going to be thrown in, aside of they're playing like Western Elements or Eastern Elements, are Northeast Guilford and Rockingham.
It's good, though, to be in Rockingham County and have that element of surprise. I mean, obviously, problem is you haven't seen these other teams, but, if Reedsville's East one year and then West the next, and they're just a terror to the whole state.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, man, Croatan, that's a team to watch out for sure. When I was coaching at McMichael, we went down to Croatan to play in our first round. They are very good. They run the option. They play a lot of option ball. They do nothing but run. Good for Northeast, man. They've done a complete 360 over the past couple of years, getting the number 2 seed.
I mean, they picked up their new head coach from Dudley, and he brought about a third of his offense with him. I mean, it's not the same offense that Jay and I saw last year at Dudley by any means. Not even close.
Yeah. See, they got
because we got to see them game 1 of the season when they came up from Moorhead.
Yeah.
And they they beat Moorhead. They had some serious discipline issues, which I'm sure they've ironed out. But they were kind of surprised to sneak into that 2 seed in the East.
Yeah.
But with the way the West is stacked, I can see how they made it into the East.
Let's see who we got. We got Western Alamance as a 10 seed.
Yep. Southeast is the 9.
They could get
Eastern's the 16.
Person County. I think Person is a pretty decent team. I think they could get past JF Webb. I've watched them a time or two.
Oh yeah, the Roxborough. They're playing in that conference with Graham. I want to say Southeast is in that conference.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite team. Graham is no one's favorite team, except whoever's playing against them.
Look, we were broadcasting the Moorhead game, and I'm on this text thread with some guys from Greensboro Sports where they just send me random scores from across, this region. And a Graham score came in, and I mentioned it, and Hatley was having no part of it on the Carneades of Reedsville scoreboard. Oh, my gosh.
You know what?
I think the phrase I used was the worst high school football team in North Carolina.
Well, my thing is, man.
What did they do to you? Why do you hate them?
I don't hate them. They're just terrible.
Well, I gotta give my boys some love, man. I know the head coach personally, man. I've took several bus rides with him, when he was at Moorhead. Mikhail Searcy, he does know football. He really does know football. I just think that with that Graham, with the schools around him, I think he just caught a bad break as far as, having your Western Alamances, your Southern Alamances. I mean,
your Eastern Alamance, your Southeast Alamance, and you got kids probably defecting going toward Orange County.
So I mean, he really does, man. He knows his football. He played with Maurice Terrain at Greensboro College. There was somebody else too that played with him that was with us. Right offhand, but he knows football, man. He just caught a bad break, and I'm hoping like crazy he turns that thing around. But he is, man. He's a really good coach. So Makai, if you're listening in, I give you love, man. Let's see who we're looking at now.
Anybody else in that 5A West that stands out to you?
Let's see Monroe.
5A West.
Monroe.
Oh Lord, half of it. South Point.
Is that Coach Bates?
No, that's Southeast Guilford.
Southeast Guilford. Okay.
Monroe, they're an 8 seed.
Crest is always big.
Hickory is a 3. Crest is 4. J.M. Robinson is 2 this year. We got to see their basketball team briefly after Rockingham's playoff game at Northwest Cabarrus in basketball. I went over to Robinson and saw their basketball team play when Coach Anglero's team got eliminated last year. And they played tough against them. They built a sports culture over at that school.
Joe, I'd like to see what our boys at North Lincoln's got.
Yeah, I'd like to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the 23 seed. They've got Oak Grove the first round.
Well, they also had their top running back transfer too.
Woodsy, how many pieces is that?
That's number 4.
That's
Number 3. Number 3 on the counter.
That's
So for me, bringing up Monroe, they're 6-3, which everybody's like, man, that's a down year. After they're the defending 2A champions.
Yeah, I mean, they jump from 2A to 5A, and they go into they got to go in with Hickory, who was a 3A state contender, Crest, who was a 3A state contender, South Point, who was a 3A state contender.
I don't think
most of these teams were 3A last year.
For Monroe, I don't think people realize who they've lost to. They've lost to West Charlotte,
Mm.
They've lost to Weddington, and they've lost to Sun Valley.
Good day.
Yeah, 2 8A teams, and I don't know who Sun Valley is.
West Charlotte 8-2 on the season.
You should give them a win just for playing those teams. I mean, I guess the RPI does that, but
and that's all
Especially
early in the
Weddington.
season. They're rolling at this point of the year. They've won 6 in a row, or 5 in a row. But Weddington is West Charlotte's 8-2. Weddington is 9-1 overall, and those are, of course, as Hatley mentioned, higher classified teams. And then Sun Valley this season, the Spartans are 7-3. So it's a murderer's row of teams they've faced. And since those games, they've defeated West Stanley 56-7. They defeated Mount Pleasant 39-21. They wrapped up the season with a win over Forest Hills 21-0. And we know that their coaching is always going to be elite. It always has been.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at their head coach, Johnny Sowell, one of the winningest coaches, not just in the football field, but on the basketball court as well. So I look forward to that. Born Justice in the comments says Northeast Guilford and Reedsville. It's the year of the Rams.
I like it.
So Rockingham County defeats Dixon. Let's say that happens.
Okay.
They face Northeast Guilford. How do they match up against them? How do we feel against Northeast Guilford?
If the same Northeast Guilford shows up that played against Moorhead game 1 of the season, I like Rockingham's chances.
Okay.
I mean, that is one of
But
those.
that was
teams.
really before they found their footing, and they faced a lot of good competition and beat a lot of good competition since then.
yeah, we've
But
seen it. Teams
if they
develop
make a
as the
lot
year
of
goes on.
mistakes, especially getting a lot of flags like they did against Moorhead, Rockingham's got a puncher's chance in that game.
But that is one guy that, that could figure Northeast out, and that's Coach Doug Robertson, especially when he was at Page.
And we've been
And
over this.
It's the
Moorhead
same
has the
offense
habit.
that he played against that he had to face in Dudley with the in the 3A last year in the conference. I don't think they're as athletically talented as last year's Dudley squad, but they've got about a third of their offense over there.
Yeah.
So 2 losses on the year for Northeast Guilford. One of them to Dudley, 21-19. Beat Southern Durham 18-14. You mentioned Moorhead. They beat Eastern Alamance, a playoff team, 20-7. They defeated West Stokes, a playoff team, 41-7. Southern Guilford 26-0. Dropped to Northern Guilford by just 6 points, 14-8. So that gives you an indication of their talent and their skill late in the season. Ashboro, one of the top teams in the 5A, especially at the start of the year, and they defeated them by 3, 38-35, and then Eastern Guilford as well at the end of the year, 21.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. They're playing up to form against Asheville. They beat them by 3. Or Ashboro, I mean. Ashboro has to go to overtime to beat Rockingham County by 1, and it was on a failed 2-point conversion that it's questionable whether that play should have been flagged.
It shouldn't have been flagged, but it was an incredible play by the defensive back. I mean, it was insane.
I mean, that game went down to the wire, and Northeast Guilford played them down to the wire. That could be a good second-round matchup.
Yeah, if Ashboro played them to the wire and Rockingham played him to the wire, Northeast and Rockingham both played Ashboro to the wire. That could be interesting in that second round. So we'll see.
Not too
Any
far
other
of a trip.
thoughts? Yeah, that's true. Any other thoughts on the 5A before we wrap this thing up?
As always, look out for Chris.
Yes.
Yep.
And South Point doesn't have to travel. You get off the bus at Belmont down 14.
Does Forest Hills got anything this year? Maybe.
They're in 11. They got Smoky Mountain the first round. They advance. They play Franklin.
Okay.
And then if they beat Franklin, They're more than likely going to face Hickory because Hickory has the winner of Carson and Montgomery Central. And neither one of those teams have got anything for Hickory, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Only losses for Forest Hill this year was to Mount Pleasant and to Monroe at the end of the season.
Was Monroe a blowout or a close game?
21-0.
21-0.
They beat Salisbury, who's down a bit this year, 21-0 at the start of the year. Community School of Davidson, 36-25. The schedule's not hard though. I'm not going to act like it's a tough schedule.
Okay.
They barely beat Anson, who barely got into the playoffs. They beat them by 2, 14-12. So who knows? That's kind of one of those ones.
Yeah. Well, this is playoff football, boys. I'm ready to get into week first round. Man,
Poor Justice is down 21 in the playoffs.
See, he knows what I'm talking about.
How fitting is it, though, Joe, that we get to go back to Carver? It's going to be something. I tell you,
I'd almost trade you the Rockingham game for the fish sandwich.
Oh my goodness, man!
Man, those concessions.
It was we had a good time. We really did. Even in that rain delay, man, we got to meet some great people. Even the PA announcer, he come up to us at halftime. You know, he threw out his hand. He's like, "Man, are y'all always this good?" I said, "We just do our job, man. That's what we do. We have fun. It's entertaining. We just do what we do." So yeah, it's always a fun time at Carver. You know, glad to be back there, man. It's going to be a good first round matchup against Moorhead. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm tell you what, y'all really got a good game too as well. It's going to be a fun first round for the Rocco Radio crew for sure.
I'm looking forward to that Rockingham read option. Sometimes there, a lot of ground attack versus that wing tee. You know, being a service academy guy, I love option offenses. I love the wing tee. I love that old school football.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, in that game, I think the MVP, Dixon and Rockingham County, we've talked about all the skill players and the coaching and all that. I think that's an adjustment game. That's one small adjustment by any coordinator or any head coach who sees anything, or any coach. That could be the difference in that one, because it's going to be.
I'll tell you what, you got a tight game coming down to the wire, and you got a kicker over there at Rockingham County that if you can put the ball down on the 30-yard line, so you get it up to the 23 with the snap, Jackson Ray can put it to the uprights.
I can see it going down to the wire. I really can. Same with the Carver Moorhead game. I'm glad. I like the little bit of uncertainty here. I mean, I like the certainty that Reedsville is in the next round, but I think it's going to be a fun week getting prepped for these games.
I'm liking this East split, though, because these last few years we've gotten so accustomed to looking so closely at these West teams, because that's who we were going to be playing against until we got the state championship. Now for 4 years, potentially, we get to look at a whole new set of teams. We get a whole new set of knowledge. It's awesome that we're getting to. Yeah, I mean, we're getting to see these teams that we had never seen. You know, we spent the playoffs last year. It's like, okay, so-and-so's over in the East. We know nothing about them. We're not even going to worry about them because we're not going to see them until the state championship. And now we've got these teams coming from the eastern half of the state, and we could possibly be looking at going to the eastern half of the state. Yeah. You know, new scenery, new stadiums, new teams. I think it's amazing.
I'll tell you what, that's one thing I love about this job too, man. Like even, the Brevards, the North Lincolns, the teams that we've seen a couple of times, after I've seen a team that one time, I always start to follow them. I always start to keep up with them. Well, hey, how's this team doing? How's that team doing? That's the one thing about this job, man. You get to go to different facilities, get to see some, different things. And it's always unique going to different stadiums, man, because you never know what you're going to get. 10 times out of 10 that we've done this job and we've always traveled, the personalities, the great people that we get to meet, the good food we get to eat on top of that, man, it's always something.
Big Will says time to get the hand warmer. Time to get
Oh
the
yeah,
handle on them.
Oh
absolutely.
yes. Oh yes.
Now, I would like to take this time to publicly apologize to Taco Bell of Walkertown. Taco Bell of Walkertown, you've been a spot for DW and Dex over the last few trips, but we found a new love. Texas Pete, fried fish. If you're crazy, a little bit of grass on top of a piece of white bread. If you're cool like me, just fried fish with some hot sauce at Carver's beautiful David Lash Stadium. So I'll publicly apologize to the
Get the
bean
slaw.
burrito, the Mexican pizza at Taco Bell of Walkertown.
Why can't
we
you
will
have
not be
both?
seeing you this. I mean, we did last time. Didn't stop us.
We did last time. We did last time.
Gotcha.
That's for sure, dude.
Gotcha.
So we absolutely threw down at Taco Bell, man. I mean, Joe's sitting there watching me eat a Mexican pizza.
You know, I'll tell you, if you guys had given us the Carver game, yeah, I would have had a fish sandwich at the game, and on the way through Walkertown, I'd have been stopping at the Waffle House
Oh,
on the way back home.
I don't know, man. Last time I ate at that Waffle House, just like I was telling Joe, those hash browns, I could throw them through a window and it would break it. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, like, every time we travel,
Smothered and covered, sauces up just a little bit.
maybe that's what I needed to do. I did put ketchup on it. It still didn't work.
that's just enough lather to get it through the window. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
But I
it.
tell you what, that Taco Bell, dude, it's always been the spot every single time we've traveled over that way. And, dude, we throw down. When I say we throw down, I think I ate a Mexican pizza, 2 tacos. I tried those new fries that had the hot sauce on them, the red hot. And then after that, dude, I was still hungry. And I said, Joe, you know, I'm really thinking about some cinnamon twists, but no, let's not do this. Because then I get the Carver and I'm like, oh man, I smell fish. Is that a fish plate? And then I go up there and we're in a rain delay and I'm like, yep, I'm definitely getting it.
Hey, we're getting helped out in the comments here. We're getting help in the comments. Coach Lambert says Little Richard's Barbecue.
Okay.
We've driven past it. We've wanted to stop.
We have.
I've eaten in there once. It's good. I'm more if we wind up traveling and we go down to the eastern part of the state, I like the eastern style barbecue. Give me the vinegar sauce.
I always
Will
love
says Elizabeth's Pizza.
Oh,
I mean, David had Elizabeth's Pizza last week.
I
He had that
did,
big
man.
steak and cheese.
Oh,
before
Will,
Reidsville
I'm
and
telling you,
McMichael.
dude. So I get to Wentworth, and you know, Joe, he's like 10 minutes late, driving 25 and a 55, and so I'm like, you know what? I got plenty of time, man, to stop by Elizabeth's in Wentworth and get me a steak and cheese all the way with mayonnaise. That Joe don't like mayonnaise. Something's wrong with him. But and I kept begging my buddy. I'm like, come on, man, take half of this thing. No, I don't want none. It's got mayonnaise on it. All right, well, fine. I'm going to throw it down. I'm going to eat the whole thing. And I did in like, 2.5 seconds. But, man, steak and cheese, Elizabeth's always has, man. It's always good.
It's also the hot dogs. Big Will says Little Richard's
hot dog. Okay.
All right. Well, we might give it a try, but we're committed to the fish sandwich. So.
Oh, we love some fish. Yeah, absolutely.
So catch us on our broadcast coming up this Friday. We've got playoff football for you. It is finally here. Moorhead and Carver, Joe Dexter, David Woods on that call from David Lash Stadium. We'll bring you all the action starting with your pregame show at either 6:30 or 7 o'clock. Stay tuned on our Facebook page to find out more details on that. Then the Hat Man, the talker of trash, and Jay Ramey will be in Wentworth, the county seat for Rockingham County and Dixon. I feel like they might be on the run. They might be on the run. They are on the run starting today.
Run versus run versus run versus run.
That pregame show will get underway at
Ground
6 or
game.
7 o'clock on our Substack page, roadcoradiosports.substack.com, and on YouTube for both games as well. And, of course, you can always listen in on roadcoradio.com for our audio-only stream. For the Hat Man, Jay Ramey, David Woods, I'm Joe Dexter. Everybody, you have a great weekend. Take care, everybody. See you.
Enjoyed it.